Yippee. It's not a stream without scuff. Not a stream without scuff. Boop. Just have a little music in the background. Hi, Finn. Hi, Finn. Hi, welcome in. We're in not spooky stories anymore. We're gonna have a not spooky story for a little bit. I was enjoying the piece. I swear.
Okay, so you're back live? Hi.
Yeah, so every time you bully me during any of the streams tonight, that's 50 cents towards charity. You've done it twice now. You have $1.
Okay, if you blue screen again, I'll just go live because I got my stuff back up.
Yep.
I had to change it from being a freak last night.
Alright. I'm ready whenever you are.
Okay, so at the bottom of that,
Yep.
okay, you already opened it all the way up.
Yep.
All right, hi everybody. I'm gonna be rating Rainbow Fish. Okay, start. I want you to go all the way to page 8 through 9, please.
8 through 9. I'm gonna mute.
Okay. A long way out in the deep blue sea, there lived a fish. Not just any ordinary fish, but the most beautiful fish in the entire ocean. His scales were every shade of blue and green and purple, with sparkle silver scales among them. The other fish were amazed at his beauty. They called him Rainbow Fish. Come on, Rainbow Fish, they would call. Come and play with us. But the Rainbow Fish would just glide past, proud and silent, letting his scales shimmer. One day, a little blue fish followed after him. Rainbow Fish, he called, wait for me. Please give me one of your shiny scales. They are so wonderful, and you have so many. You want me to give you one of my special scales? Who do you think you are? Cried the rainbow fish. Get away from me. Shocked, the little blue fish swam away. He was so upset, he told all his friends what had happened. From then on, no one would have anything to do with the rainbow fish. They turned away when he swam by. What good were the dazzling, shimmering scales with no one to admire them? Now he was the loneliest fish in the entire ocean. One day, he poured out his troubles to the starfish. I really am beautiful. Why doesn't anyone like me? I can't answer that for you, said the starfish. But if you go beyond the coral reef to a deep cave, you will find the wise octopus. Maybe she could help you. The rainbowfish found the cave. It was very dark inside and he couldn't see anything. Then suddenly, two eyes caught him into the glare, and the octopus emerged from the darkness. I have been waiting for you, said the octopus with a deep voice. The waves have told me your story. This is my advice. Give a glittering scale to each of the other fish. You will no longer be the most beautiful fish in the sea, but you will discover how happy to be.
Is this the book that gave me my people pleasing issues? Because holy shit.
I can't, the rainbow fish started to say, but the octopus had already disappeared into a dark, cloud of ink. Give away my scales? My beautiful shining scales? Never! How could I ever be happy without them? Suddenly, he felt a little touch of a fin. The little blue fish was back. Rainbow fish, please, don't be angry. I just want one little scale. The rainbow fish wavered. Only one very, very small shimmering scale, he thought. Well, maybe I wouldn't miss just one. Carefully, the rainbow fish pulled out the smallest scale and gave it to the little fish. Thank you very much. The little blue fish bubbled playfully as he tucked the shimmering scale in amongst his blue ones. A rather peculiar feeling came over the rainbow fish. For a long time, he watched the little blue fish swim back and forth with his new scale glittering in the water. The little blue fish whizzed through the ocean with his scale flashing. So it didn't take long before the rainbow fish was surrounded by the other fish. Everyone wanted a glittering scale. The rainbow fish shelled his scales left and right, and the more he gave away, the more delightful he became when the water around him filled with glimmering scales. He at least felt at home amongst the other fish. Finally, the rainbow fish had only one shining scale left. His most prized possession has been given away. Yet, he was very happy. Come on, rainbow fish, they called. Come and play with us. Here I come, said the rainbow fish, and happy as a splash, he swam off to join his friends. The end.
I stand by what I said.
What?
It just basically taught you that people pleasing is good and that you should do it. I think that book is scarier than any other book I brought to the table.
No, I love rainbow fish.
Hey, rainbow fish, give literally every little bit of yourself away. Except for, like,
Right.
the
And
tiny
just
little
don't think
last
about
part
it.
of your soul. And then you'll be
He
happy
literally had
because
one.
everyone
He
will
had
like
one
you.
scale left.
That book is darker than I remember it being.
Oh fuck! Don't people please, guys. People suck. Period. They do.
Just a little bit.
Back All right, back to scary stories. See you guys in a bit.
I don't think I can top that scary story. I'm being so for real right now.
No! I wanted it to be cute and cuddly. Fuck.
I don't think you achieved that.
Oh fuck! Maybe
Pika.
the next one will do better.
People pleasing is good.
Oh fuck! Honestly, it's funny reading that shit as a child, but now reading it as an adult, you're just like, huh?
Huh, maybe this is where some of my
Okay.
issues came from.
Because I heard you come in and I was like chuckled a little bit. I was like, fuck.
I'm sorry, I just had to make a comment there. I was just like, wait, hold on. Wait.
I was like, oh shit.
Oh my god.
Because I don't have any regrets. Crazy.
I am the one who has come first yet again. Thank you, Britt. Oh my god. Nah, scary. Scary
Back to the
season.
shadows that go.
Oh my god. Christ, I gotta get back in the mental headspace of doing that now. It's locked. About 10 years ago, I was recently divorced and living alone in a one-bedroom apartment. The place was clean and the rent was decent. One of those places had a doorman. I felt safe here. I was alone and loving it, focused on my career and not on my clingy ex-husband. Things were finally looking up for me. At the time, I was working pretty late at the office and would often stumble into my apartment sleep-deprived in the early hours of the morning and wake up by 6:30, 7-ish to start the day. I started noticing that in the morning my door would be unlocked sometimes. I usually dismissed this as my sleep-dead brain, thinking that it was the bed looking more appealing than locking the door. Another thing that I had noticed since moving in was that I seemed to misplace things more than I used to. Little things like a hairbrush or nail polish, that sort of thing. It wasn't really that big of a deal, just enough to be a slight annoyance in my day. The longer I lived there, the more frequently I seemed to forget to lock the door. At first, it was every once in a while that it seemed like an almost daily occurrence. More things went missing, things like pictures, shaving razors, and most disturbingly, my underwear. This went on for long enough that I started to get a little paranoid. I started to take the time at night to make sure the door was locked. I got into a habit of every night after I locked the door to turn the handle 3 times and say to myself, "It's locked. It's locked. It's locked." Time after time, I would wake up and the door would be unlocked. One time I even tried staying up all night to watch the door, but I ended up falling asleep in my chair. I decided that my mind was not reliable enough to stay up all night, so I invested in a video camera. I went all out and bought the fanciest camera that I could get my hands on. So one night, I set up the camera facing the door. I hid the camera under a pile of towels on the floor and I locked the door and went to bed. When I woke up, my apartment looked normal. Nothing missing that I could see. I decided to check the tape. I fast-forwarded through hours of footage, not seeing anything. I was just about to give up when I noticed the handle of the door jitter. Then it slowly crept open. A figure slid through the half-open door and walked towards the camera. It paused, looked around as if it was listening for something, then walked forward into direct view of the camera. I paused the camera, the hairs on my arms and the back of my neck starting to rise. I was staring directly into the face of the maintenance man of the building. I could see those big, thick glasses and curly hair. I had no doubt who it was. I played the tape a little more. He looked comfortable as he walked around the apartment. Then he had turned and walked towards my bedroom and out of view of the camera. I didn't know what to do. Sobbing, I called the police. I tried to explain over the phone, but couldn't. Soon enough, 2 officers arrived at my doorstep. I told them everything and showed them the tape. I remember seeing the blood drain from their faces. They promised me that I was safe, and that they were going to get this guy. I needed to lay down, but I didn't want to be alone. One of the officers offered to stand outside my apartment door as I took a nap. As I was laying in bed, unable to sleep, but too drained to move, something kept nagging at me. I laid there for a few minutes, tossing and turning, unable to get comfortable or rest. My mind was racing. Then a realization slowly washed over me and chilled me to the bone. We watched the tape and saw the man enter my home, but we never saw him leave. I froze, and then started shaking. I needed to get to the front door. I sat up and looked around the room. I couldn't see anyone. I swung my legs over the side of the bed cautiously, my feet hitting the cold wood floor, and I felt warm breath on my ankles. I raced out of my apartment as fast as I could into the safety of the police officer. He called for backup. They found the man under my bed, clutching a knife and a Polaroid camera. To this day, I cannot sleep alone. longer sleeping mattress to floor. Star, you're gonna hold me while I sleep tonight. Oh, oh man. I said I was reading scary stories. They're scary stories. You can't keep threatening me with a gun. Guns don't work. Not Michael.
I'm not gonna lie. After you read that shit and you started chuckling, I was like, yeah, I don't want to do this shit no more. I was like, yo, what the fuck? I was like, ain't no fucking way. You just decide to read that scary ass shit and just start to go, yeah, fuck that. I'm out. I was like, what the fuck? I literally thought that was a part of the story. I was like, yeah, fuck that. I was like, what the fuck?
Miso for context, because my mom's not here to give it. So for context, I was the kid. I was the kid who would just like stand quietly at the like foot of my parents' bed, and I would just like stand and stare. I would just stand and stare at my mom or my dad, trying and like praying that they'll wake up because I had a nightmare. And of course, every single time I did that, I scared the shit out of my parents. I don't know what else you expect from me.
You've reached your
Hi, Yasu.
What was that?
He told me to shut the fuck up.
I swear, I was opening this book and I thought it was a fucking advertisement. I was like, bro, what the hell did it just say?
Oh, man. And there's a reason why my mom is now afraid of my evil chuckles, and I think this may be part of the reason. So, Misa, do you wanna read? Do you wanna read a not spooky story?
Yeah, let's go for it. Let me look through the good ones that I picked, and let's make sure it's not about fucking giving ourselves away to people. Fuck.
Alrighty, there we go. Tell me whichever one you want.
Let's do all the places you'll go.
All the places you'll go. Oh, this story.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and go to page 6 and 7, and then let me know when you're ready so I can move to the next one.
Oh, it fucked with my thing again.
Mm-mm.
You said 6 and 7?
Yep. And then it's the title, and then I'm gonna go into reading the book.
Okay, I think that's more evenly spaced, so yes.
Okay. Let me know when you're ready.
Yep, I'm just snacking on pizzelles over here.
Okay. All the Places You'll Go by Dr. Seuss. Congratulations! Today is your day. You're off to great places. You're off on your way. Oh, wait a minute. Give me a second because I started reading and I forgot I have your stream up too, so it's like literally my voice is
Silly.
reverberating and it's killing the hell out of me.
Silly
Hold on.
bean.
Okay, there we go. Okay. You have brains in your head. You have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose. And you're on your own. And you know what you know. And you are the guy who decide where to go. You'll look up and down streets, look 'em over with care. About some, you will say, I don't choose to go there. With your head full of brains and your shoes full of feet, you're too smart to go down any not so good street. And you may not find any you'll want to go down. In that case, of course, you'll head straight out of town. It's opener there in the wide open air. Out there, things can happen, and frequently do, to people as brainy and footsy as you. And when things start to happen, don't worry, don't stew, just go right along. You'll start happening too. Oh, the places you'll go. You'll be on your way up. You'll be seeing great sights. You'll join the high flyers who soar high heights. You won't lag behind because you'll have the speed. You'll pass the whole gang and you'll soon take the lead. Wherever you'll fly, you'll be best of the best. Wherever you'll go, you will top all the rest. Except when you don't, because sometimes you won't. I'm sorry to say so, but sadly, it's true that bang up and hang up can happen too. You can get all hung up in a prickly perch, and your gang will fly on. You'll be left in a lurch. You'll come down from the lurch with an unpleasant bump, and the chances are then that you'll be in a slump. And when you're in a slump, you're not in for much fun. Unslumping yourself is not easily done. You will come to a place where the streets are not marked. Some windows are lighted, but mostly are dark. A place could sprain both your elbow and chin. Do you dare to stay out? Do you dare to go in? How much can you lose? How much can you win? And if you go in, could you turn left or right? Or right and three quarters? Or maybe not quite? Or go around back and sneak in front from behind? Simply, it is not. I'm afraid you'll find for a mind maker upper to make up his mind. You can get confused. That'll start in the race down long wiggled rows at a breakneck pace and grin from miles across weirdest wild space, headed, I feet, towards a most unless place, the waiting place. For people just waiting, waiting for a train to go, or a bus to come, or a plane to go, or the mail to come, or the rain to go, or the phone to ring and the snow to snow, or wait around for a yes or no, or waiting for the hair to grow. Everyone is just waiting. Waiting for the fish to bite, or waiting for the wind to fly a kite, or waiting around for Friday night, or waiting perhaps in their Uncle Jake, or a pot to boil, or a better break, or a sting of pearls, or a pair of pants, or a wig with curls, or another chance. Everyone's just waiting. No! That's not for you. Somehow you'll escape, and all that waiting and staying you'll find in the bright place where broom bands are playing. With bumping flipper flappers, once more you'll ride high, ready for anything under the sky. Ready because you're that kind of guy. Oh, the places you'll go. There's fun to be done. There are points to be scotted. There are games to be won. And the magical things you can do with the ball, with makes you winningest winner of all. Fame. You'll be famous of famous can be, with the whole wide world watching you win the TV. Except when they don't, because sometimes they won't. I'm afraid that sometimes you'll play along games too. Games you can't win, because you'll play against you. All alone. Whether you like it or not, alone will be something you'll be quite a lot. And when you're alone, there's a very good chance you'll meet things that scare you right out of your pants, but are some down the road because between hither and you that can scare you so much you won't want to go too. But on your way you'll go, through through the weather be foul. Oh, you will go through the enemy's prow. On you will go through the hack and crack howl, onward up many a frightening creek, though your arms may get sore and your sneakers may leak. On and on you'll hike, and I will hike, and I know you'll hike far and face up to problems whenever they are. You'll get mixed up, of course, as you already know. You'll get mixed up with many stray birds as you go. So be sure when you be sure step with care and great tact, and remember that life's a great balancing act. Just never forget the dexterity and drift, and never mix up your right foot with your left. And you will succeed. Yes, you will indeed. 98% of 1 4% guaranteed. Kids, you'll move mountains. So, be your name Buxom or Bixum or Brat or Mordecai, Ali, Van, Ali, O'Shea. Go off to great places. Today is your day. Your mountain is waiting. So, get on your way.
Ah, a reprieval from the horrors.
Hey, at
Doesn't
least
last
that was a
long.
good one, okay?
Hey, it was a good one. Never said it wasn't.
Yes.
Oh my god.
What? I hate it.
Oh, blame Yasu.
Yo,
Oh, Misa, you never gave me the PNG for our group.
okay, I got you. I see. Misa reading it, be like,
Yasu!
I read that good as. Oh, okay.
Yasu, if you keep bullying me and Miso, I am actually going to ask you to, like, make donations, because I swear to God. I only say this because I know you. But, like... Yasu, get the call and read.
Not him talking about my reading. He can't even read properly.
Oh, gods. Okay. We gotta start the horrors. Oh, my... Oh, Mom! Mom even got in on it! Oh, boy. Okay. Is one braille? Help. Stop bullying each other. This is the opposite of what we're supposed to be doing. Which, if I may remind you guys, if I may remind chat, that the whole point of this stream is both for a trial reading stream and to help raise funds before the end of the year for Streamers for Thankmas, because it closes after the 31st. We're raising funds for charity, people, for suicide prevention and mental health awareness. So if y'all stop bullying in my chat for like 1 minute, I swear to the gods. Oh my god. Ew. Miso! Oh my god. Since twice, YouTube worked some more. Morpho, don't worry about it. Literally only donate if you can. That's all I ask. No, Mother Star's the one that means... God. Yellow Relentless. Bestie. Yeah, no, if you're able to donate, please do. If you cannot donate, please don't. It's just, if you can, then that's all we're asking. Are we ready for Spooky? I'll go after you next. Buggy, are you joining us? Hi, Stormy, welcome in. Be nice to each other, I swear. Oh no, Stormy joined it instantly an ad. Alright, we'll be nice, we'll be nice. We'll wait for Stormy to come in after the ad. Hopefully be able to donate next year. Hello, Dragon that guides the celestial sky. Hello, Rome, it's nice to see you. I have Turbo, it's fine. Okay, it didn't show me Turbo. So, hi, Stormy, welcome in. Double tomorrow morning. Yeah, I know, Bugsy. I didn't expect you to join in, but like, please get some rest too. 10 more than 3 words. I'm an absolute sweetheart offline when I want to be. I know, Mama. Yeah, hi, welcome in. For any new faces, I am finishing raising funds for charity for Streamers for Thankmas. We are trying to raise funds for mental health awareness and suicide prevention. So it is both pinned, and I will also put that there as well. Hi, I am so glad I can finally catch you stream. I'm glad you could too. It's wonderful to see you here. And yes, Bugsy, give me goldfish. Please, I want goldfish. Hey, want to hear a joke start? Only 'cause it's you, yo. What's up? Also, Stormy, because I know you're new in here, Miso is reading nice, like, childhood stories. I am reading spooky stories, which is why the spooky music is going on in the background. Is the joke the dino? Yes, Yasumi. I swear, you're gonna hop in here again and make fun of one of us. He loves... Thank you, Bugsy. You finally realized. Mm-hmm. No, I hadn't had. Okay, I'll tell my joke now. Okay. What's your joke, Io? My friend bought me a game on Xbox, and apparently my Xbox is just too old, even though it's the system just before the newest one. Oh, Mama, I'm sorry. Nothing can be spooky when your man hasn't been telling you. What happens when Yasu doesn't have his glasses on? Yo, I swear. To be a story, you can't Yasu say. You know what? That one's a good one. I'll let that fly, yo. Okay, we're getting into we're getting into spooky stories. Oh my god. Yo, I hope you did put that in quotes. I now live in a one-story house. There were 2 rules we had to follow when we were living on the 2nd floor of an old apartment building. First, lock your door at night. And second, be very careful at the top of the stairs. These were natural rules, since despite the front door being locked, you had to really be sure of the 2 full floors of neighbors to leave the house unlocked, especially during the night. As I understood it, the management of the house used to be really strict about locked door thing, and had put up signs all over the place telling people to lock their doors. I heard from the man next door that they sometimes even went around at night and rattled all the doors, making sure that they were locked. But of course, they had completely denied being so invasive as that. I had never heard them at it, but I had been known to sleep perfectly content through an earthquake, so there was no indication. As for the stairs, it was just a simple reminder. They were steep and slightly tricky, and I heard that there had been a couple of deaths from falling down them. It was good to remind people. Nothing wrong with that. Besides, my sister and I were happy there. Leanne had been fortunate enough to get the room directly across from mine, and we were old enough to actually enjoy each other's company, despite the traditional feud that comes between an older brother and his younger sister. To tell the truth, the feud still existed, but had become more of a cheerful rivalry than anything else. We were just happy. Just happy. Things weren't perfect, granted. We were in an area that had constant thunderstorms, and the power was out as often as it was functional. My room had a continuous smell of strong soap, and although that wasn't the worst of all. It could smell. It was a bit tiresome after a while. Leanne's room developed a troublesome lock, and half the time the bolt would click out the moment someone pulled it. We wanted to move out, sure, but we also wanted to wait until we could be sure that the other could too. If only we had known. If only there had been even the slightest flicker of menace. But there was none. There were no cold spots, so no abnormal shivers when passing over a certain area. No strange noises, but for the occasional rattling of the knobs in the night. Nothing. Not until that night. I awoke in the middle of it simply out of thirst. I first tried my sink, obviously, but the power was out, so the pump wasn't running. Annoying, but the landlords kept a tank full at the top of the stairs exactly for this purpose. Really, I should have thought to fill up my own jug whenever there was a storm warning, but however many times I had thought of it, I never quite managed to go through with it. I'd went out to the landing, torch in hand. Halfway to the tank at the top of the stairs, I tried to click it on and found that it was dead, but that mattered little. There was ambient light, and lighting frequently flashed through the skylights, with which the architect had a love affair with designing the building. I got to the tank and began filling my bottle when out of the corner of my eye I glimpsed movement halfway down the staircase. As I looked, there was nothing. Though it was that kind of nothing that happens when you're staring at the object you're looking for. That sense of it being right in front of you. If only you could see it. Then, by the flash of the lightning, I saw what was really there. It was crawling. It had to, as it had no legs that I could see. It was like a torso, cut right up from above the hips, reaching out with both hands and pulling itself up the stairs, one slow, painful step at a time. Black tatters shrouded it, I suppose, because clothes wouldn't have fit right on that thing. It was shrouded in the black tatters, and where they failed to cover, blank space showed. Not black, and definitely not white, but rather a simple absence that I cannot think of without my stomach rising in protest. The space was not empty as the vacuum beyond our planet is, but rather it was less than empty. It was hungry. It sucked in. It was the opposite of all that was material and physical. Then, the lightning flash faded, but I could somehow perceive its shape, continuing up the stairs. Even as I turned to run, another flash lit the room, and as though it had sensed my intent to flee, it lifted its head, and I'm sorry, but I cannot. I will never set to word, neither spoken nor written, my full description of its face. For lack of a better word, it was simply all that a face should not be in this time. There had been no sight so horrible, so fearsome, so terrifying, that it impressed itself upon me in the least. For how could it compare? This is the one triumph, I suppose, that I bring from that night. Out of all of its horror, I shall never again be cowed by the sight of evil. For the worst done by man, but the palest reflection of the visage that faced me then. I ran. What else could I do? I ran to my room as fast as I could and began fumbling with my keys, all the while becoming aware of a faint, slithery drag thump, coming from the stairway. How far up had it been? Halfway, 2/3. How many steps did it have left? Finally, I forced my key into the lock, yanked the door open, dove in, locked it again, and collapsed. The adrenaline suddenly gone. I had no time for introspection. However, as I suddenly realized that I could still hear the thing, now up on the landing. It was still crawling. I could hear the hand-over-hand slither of it as it came straight to my door. The handle moved. It rattled for a moment, then went still. Even as I started to let myself relax, I heard the door of the next room over rattle. But it too was locked. I heard it go down to the end of the hallway, rattling each door in turn, testing the locks. I sat and prayed that none of the other tenants had left their door unlocked, leaving themselves open to that terror. Then, as it had come back and was almost across the hall from me again, I thought, Leanne, please no. Its slithering movement was clearly across from me. I listened, hoping, praying for a rattle. The lock clicked, and the door creaked. I couldn't help it. I grabbed the useless flashlight as a club and threw open the door. At the same time, there was a clatter and an all too familiar scream from the direction of the staircase. I ran towards it, the other tenants opening their doors and peering out, working torches lighting the hallway. There was yet some glimmer of hope in me, some faint wish that if I got there fast enough, she would be all right. But no. There, at the bottom, crumpled like a broken toy, the marks of hands fading fast from her ankles, was Leanne. I like how every single time I do this story, Miso deafens. Is it to listen to the music too? Yeah, Jen, I am reading horror stories, not slutty stories. Why does it sound like... I know what spicy books you read, Jen. I read very similar, sometimes. But yeah, no, I'm reading all horror, while my co-host, Miso, is reading all sweet. Usually children's books. You missed, The Rainbow Fish and Oh, the Places You'll Go. Welcome back.
Hello. You can continue reading because I'm gonna eat real quick. So
Oh,
go ahead.
oh, we get to move on to the next
You know what?
horror.
I was enjoying yours. That's why I deafened because I like listened to the music and you
Mhm.
reading. It's actually nice.
Fun fact for those who have not caught a stream previous, this is just my this is just my D&D music that I play for Domain of the Nameless God because it's a bunch of horror songs together. We should risk the next scary creature. I don't think you can. I thought this was a Rainbow Fish story. Nope. Nope. Like, this isn't a D&D session. We can't romance the monsters. You cannot romance the monsters. You can't even romance the monsters in Domain. They just want to kill you. I promise you, you cannot romance them. Miso, how dare you? You cannot roll a Riz check. You must simply roll a sanity saving throw. I do not think you want to roll. I don't think you want to risk the monsters in Domain, if I'm being completely honest. I can fix them! I don't think these freaks know that. Help! Mama Deterreno. To volunteer to be a breeder for more monsters. Remind me not to show the monster fuckers one of my later forms once I get that drawn, because I'm a little scared of you now. And I say this as a fellow monster fucker. For the Twitch stream to be D&D sessions, I alone am not the freaking one. Don't be scared. I'm a little scared if I'm being completely honest. Alrighty. I'm moving on to the next one before you guys terrify me more than the stories are supposed to. What's up, Misa?
What did I just come back to? All I heard was monster fucking, and now I'm scared.
My chat's all monster fuckers too.
All I heard was monster fucking. I was
My
like,
chat is all
fuck?
monster fuckers too, I guess.
I was like, how the fuck? How the fuck did we go from spooky, scary stories and sweet stories, and now people are monster fucking?
Because
This shit is
Jim
crazy.
thought I was reading monster fucker
I was
stories.
like, I was so confused.
Jim thought I was reading monster fucker stories.
Oh my god, just like erotica there. not in here.
Alrighty. I'm going back to stories. You guys are a hoot. Changing my game here just a little bit. I'm at your bedroom window. A warning for my fellow travelers. If you ever have a layover in Philly overnight, don't spend the night at the Economy Motel. And if you absolutely must, steer clear of room 103. I was heading south to visit some family members for a few weeks, and unfortunately the only flight available included a 7-hour layover in Philly. Not wanting to spend those hours huddled outside the airport, I rented the cheapest motel I could find and took the shuttle over at about 11 p.m. The place was just about the shadiest looking motel I'd ever seen, but it was a bed, right? I checked in and headed to my room, 103. Exhausted. I immediately collapsed upon the bed. A bit lumpy, but not terrible. Not bothering to take my contacts out, I closed my eyes and let my thoughts wander. I was yanked back to reality by a loud grumbling from my stomach. Right. The airline hadn't fed us. Annoyed, I dug around in my bag for one of those microwavable soup cups, which I tossed into the room's microwave. As the microwave rattled on, I noticed a piece of paper wedged underneath it. I yanked it out and unfolded it. There were 2 words scribbled hastily. Don't look. Huh? Whatever. I tossed it aside and retrieved my soup. Feeling lonely, I hopped online to see if anyone was on. I was in luck. My long-distance boyfriend happened to be on Skype. I called him up and we chatted a while, trying to keep our voices down. Eventually, though, he said something that made me laugh, and I heard a muffled curse come up from the stairs. Feeling guilty, I said my goodnights and ended the call, with the intention of getting a bit of rest before my next flight. As I lay in the now dark room, I noticed a thin stream of light coming from where the curtain didn't close completely. Annoyed, I got up to close it. I was almost at the window when I heard it. I can see into your bedroom. The voice sent a chill up my spine. It was very quiet and high-pitched, like a child's. It was so soft I wasn't sure I hadn't just imagined it. I shook my head and reached for the curtain. I know you can hear me. I'm at your bedroom window, and I know you can hear me. I jumped back as a shadow crossed the stream of light coming into my room. I definitely hadn't imagined it that time. There was a voice directly outside my door. Someone was out there looking in. I jumped back into the bed and pulled the covers up to my chin. I'm at your bedroom window. I know you can hear me. I can see into your bedroom. Are you listening to me? I know you can hear me. Come, take a look. I'm at your bedroom window. The taunting went on and on, rattling into my thoughts and leaving me paralyzed in fear. Suddenly, I heard the tenant upstairs moving around again. Footsteps stomped over to the door above, and I heard muffled shouting. Hey, shut up down there. This isn't funny. I have work in 4 hours. The door slammed upstairs, and there was silence. I breathed a sigh of relief and leaned back against the pillow, determined to get some sleep. I'm still out here. Come look out your window. I sat straight up, heart pounding in my ears. The voice was back. It whispered on and on, repeating its mantra over and over again. I put my hands over my ears and rocked back and forth, trying to block out the sound. It was of no use. The longer I sat there, the louder it got until I could hear it so clearly it sounded like it was right next to me. Frantic, I picked up the phone and dialed the police. Stammering and stuttering and fright, I managed to give them the information, where I was, what was wrong. Please help, I'm scared. I didn't care if it was a prank at this point. My mind was reeling in terror. The officers assured me that they'd be over shortly to see what the issue was. I thanked them and hung up the phone. As soon as I did, silence descended over the room. It wasn't just that the voice stopped. No. Utter silence filled the room. The air conditioner stopped. The street noises outside ceased. Even the faint hum of electricity from the TV and lights went away. It pressed on my ears with a tangible heaviness that sent shivers through me. Next to me, my phone rang. The caller ID told me that it was the police station calling me back. Cautiously, I picked it up and answered. Hello? I whispered. They aren't coming, growled the voice, and every light went out, plunging the room into complete and total darkness. I don't think you want to fuck this monster. I don't think this is a monster you want to fuck. Pookie, if you'd like to come back and lighten the mood, or I can read one of the last couple that I have. I'm scared. Well, that's the point. If they would less like a child, then yes, I'd still fuck. That's crazy. It'll probably... You know what? I can't even say that. It will kill you. And yet you're still willing to do that. Go ahead, Pooks. Okay. I have a window next to my bed I hate. This one's a bit longer. You'll have time, Miso. I am going to desync as I need to get more water. I live very close to where my water is. If it looks good, I have a death wish, my face is dark. Solus terror. Sorry, I was temporarily possessed. There we go. right. Let's see, I think I have this one as well. No, I was debating on all of these Edgar Allan Poe stories. Why they're called sixes. I want to tell you about my life and the strange things I've seen, and before I do, I want you to understand that my actions in the end had reasons. I was born to a single mother. She was only 15 around the time I was born, and she wasn't exactly ready to be a mother. Apparently my dad was even less ready because his parents ended up sending him to boarding school so he wouldn't have to be responsible for me and my mother. We were mostly supported by her parents, but otherwise we were completely alone. I started discovering my gift when I was 5 years old. My great-grandmother had passed away. I felt really confused when I walked into the viewing room of the funeral parlor and saw my gran sitting in a chair next to her own casket. At that point, I had already grasped that death meant you were gone forever, and yet, there she was. My confusion was overpowered with my relief. Approaching her, she seemed different. There, but not quite the same. Like when you're picturing something in your head. Your eyes are open and you're clearly seeing what's in the room, but something entirely different at the same time. She whispered in my ear, kissed my forehead, and disappeared. I walked up to my mom and asked her about the roses in Italy as Gran had instructed. To this day, I still don't know what that meant, but it was something important enough to make my mother fall to her knees. She held me, and it was the only time that I remember feeling like she truly loved me. As I grew, my gift became a little more apparent. I'd see people I wasn't supposed to in everyday situations. A few would even notice and follow me home. I didn't mind. None of them ever imposed or tried to harm me. They just wanted company until they figured out how to move on or they found someone that was more interesting to follow around. I'd talk about this as if it were normal. My mother put no effort forth to stop me, but still acted embarrassed when I did it around other people. No one took it seriously, though. Not like Mom did. Honestly, I think she feared me for a while. When I was about 8, things changed. And it was all due to my mom meeting a man named Mike. He was lanky. He smelled bad and talked too loud. Still, he had a more stable job than Mom did, so she fell right into his lap. He wasn't a horrible guy at first, just kind of greedy. My mom told him about my gift, and he came up with the master plan to use me as a pay pig. Post my name up in phone books as the world's youngest psychic. I don't know if he even believed my gift was real at first, but he learned otherwise eventually. That's how I started talking to dead people in a living when I was just beginning to learn multiplication. It was fun at first, when it wasn't the same old tell my mom I love her bullshit. There was a case when I was 13, where I was seeing a family who believed the spirit of a 4-year-old girl was haunting their house. They claimed that they didn't intend to make the girl leave, they just wanted to learn more about her so they could make her more comfortable in their home. When I walked into the house, there was definitely no little girl. There was, however, a gray, non-human entity crouched on their 17-year-old son's back. Its skin looked like paper, and its eyes were fully blood red. It came in human-like shape, but it was far from human. These non-humans were something I called sixes. Sixes are souls that were never human. They're created out of pure sorrow and hatred. Their negative emotion embodied into an evil spiritual being. They can project the actions of human spirits to confuse their hosts, make them think that they're just victims of a normal haunting. Human souls cannot hurt you unless they're extremely sinister, like Bundy's sinister. Sixes, however, can, along with several other non-human entities. They suck every emotion out of you and radiate so much of their own sorrow and hatred until you either kill yourself or commit a crime so horrible you'll likely get the death penalty. They usually go after evil, corrupt, or just plain miserable people. They were called sixes because you only usually lasted 6 months before you lost it. I think I started resenting my mother when I was 16. I had gotten tired of the job. Everyone in town knew me. All the kids at school called me a freak. By this point, Mike had started to drink away all the money that people had paid me to tell them that their grandmother loved them, or that their dead child was in a better place. He became violent, angry. He hit my mother and she just took it for a while. Then she started to blame me. If you never would have started talking to fucking Casper, maybe we wouldn't be in this situation. Completely ignoring the fact that he was her boyfriend, not mine. Not long after that, he stopped hitting her and started hitting me. And she did too. Only months later did I start seeing sixes roaming around whenever my parents were near. I watched this without a word. Still allowing me to escort me to jobs, at first the sixes would stay far. I'd see them out my window, across the street. They crept closer as time went on. Very slowly. My curiosity heavily outweighed my fear. I had only ever seen them on people's backs. I became a bit more startled when they stood outside our windows. They knew I could see them, but they disregarded me. I said nothing to my mother the day I watched one crawl onto her back and latch its gaped, teethed mouth onto her shoulder. I wasn't surprised when I saw another on Mike's back later that day. I thought about telling Mike and my mother, calling up a specialist to get rid of the sixes that had only just begun to drain my sad excuse for a family. But then I thought about finally being alone. Never having to do the jobs that they told me to do. Never being subjected to a drunken lecture about my responsibility to support my family. Never explaining my bruises away to teachers. So I didn't tell them. I sat back and enjoyed the show. Well, I'm back. I really wasn't going to come back here and write again, but so many of you wanted to hear more. More about my parents' ultimate end, or about other kinds of non-human entities. I guess a part of me was afraid that I was going to get into trouble. Still, here I am again. I guess I'm here to let you know exactly what I observed between the point that the sixes latched onto my mother and Mike. First, I want to clear a few things up that had popped into the comments. No, I am not a six. That doesn't make any sense because being human is the one thing sixes crave but can't really have. They can't communicate, use computers, pretty much any basic human thing. I don't think they even have the capacity to consider communication. I also haven't been a victim of a six. To be honest, I think it freaks them out that I can see them. So far, they stayed away from me. Lastly, I didn't mean to sound so apathetic in my original entry. To be quite honest, I was horrified. But my internal defenses told me that this was the only way I had had a chance to get away from beatings. The curiosity in me wanted to document what I was seeing. This won't be like much of my previous entry. It will be a little less personal and a lot more documentary style, I guess you could say. I won't be going much into the faux haunting parts that the sixes creates because it's mostly uninteresting. I want you all to know how sixes affect human beings, not their surroundings. Month 1. The first month was mostly normal other than the fact that my parents became tired and very reclusive. The beatings slowed down a lot to the point where it was only around the time where I would get close and talk too much, which would annoy them both. There were times that they would both wake up screaming and constantly making comments on feeling like they were being watched. I reassured them through gritted teeth that they weren't being watched as I stared into the eyes of the being that only began to feed on them. My month 2. My parents began sleeping unreasonably long, like 17 hours at a time. Sometimes they'd even become messy. I had to clean it, Absolutely inhuman, but usually normal for a subject of the Sixes. Attempting to wake them would be incredibly dangerous, but then again it was kind of like that before. Only now it was amplified. At one point, I woke up to my mother to ask her if I could borrow some bus fare to pay my way to a meeting with a family that was dealing with a supposed demonic haunting, which was actually just poltergeist activity caused by a 17-year-old boy with acne problems. She shot up, turned her head slowly, and began to scream the most deafening, inhuman scream imaginable. After that, she launched herself at me. Thankfully, at this stage, they're mostly drained of energy. She slowly crawled back into bed, falling asleep as soon as she hit the pillow. Month 3, the depressive stage, which is usually when we're most commonly called in to treat a case if we're not already called in by the first month. My parents had cut back the sleeping a few hours and just began sobbing about the absolute worst things almost all the time. While this was the least harmful month for me, it was the worst to watch. There were several problems where I wanted to tell them, but I knew they'd be angry. Additionally, they both claimed to see red eyes behind their shoulders. Once again, I reassured them I saw nothing. I felt bad. Month 4. This is where things started to turn. They stopped sleeping almost entirely and talked almost constantly. I had never seen this phase personally, so I had no idea what to expect. I was sitting down on the couch when my mother sat down next to me and looked me in the eyes for the first time since I was little. But there wasn't love in her eyes like there had been at one point. I couldn't quite pin my finger on what it was, but she started to speak. She spoke so fast that it only took me a minute to make out what she had said. This broke off into a month from hell, one that I'll do my best to forget about. My parents lost their filter entirely. Month 5. I had to be absent for a lot of this. They both became extremely violent. I will be skipping most of this, just simply due to the fact that it is not a good story on that. Month 6. We showed up outside the apartment complex around 6 a.m. There were other inhuman entities outside the building. These were called Watchers. Watchers are pretty much explained by their name. They like to watch people do bad things. Not just murder, either. Most any bad thing. They feed off of that until the deed is done. They almost look like normal people, but they're yellowed like an old photo, and they have these awful grins on their faces. The only parts of them that move are their eyes. I've never seen them on the job, but I have seen them out in public in various places, which worried me to the point where I had to go home. I can help with dead people, and I can even do a little about inhuman entities, but I can't make humans not do extremely messed up things. It was around 9 a.m. that Milana became too overwhelmed by the awful feeling that she was getting, so I told her that it was alright to go park down the block when I went inside to check on them. She protested, but only for a second. I think she knew how important this was to me. The Watcher's eyes followed me from the car to the building. As I exited the stairwell into the hallway of the floor my parents lived on, I heard an absolutely horrifying shriek, and I knew that it was happening. I bolted, fumbling to get my keys out of my bag. I undid the lock and swung the door open as fast as I could. The Sixes were no longer on my parents' back. I think that was the first thing I had noticed. They were crawling around them in circles. My mother was gone, and the Six that had been using her was only absorbing what was left inside. Mike turned to me, a horrible grin on his face, and he took his own life as well. I stood there frozen, not really sure what to do. I had imagined what this day would be like, but I had never thought it'd be so brutal. I guess a part of me assumed that they'd just be off, but that would be the least violent and not in their nature. The Sixes circled around their bodies a few moments more before I caught their eyes. The both became startled and quickly crawled up the wall, past me and out the door. I was brought down to the station due to a neighbor calling the cops. All I could tell them was that my parents had been acting strangely for months. I was cleared to leave, and Milana took me back to her home, where I broke down and cried for the first time in what felt like years. I haven't worked a 6th job. Not since then. I got emancipated on my 17th birthday, dropped out of high school, and moved into a small apartment across town. I quit doing jobs, but only for a short while. I needed the money, and nobody was going to hire me for normal work. Not with my reputation. People in the gifted community knew I allowed it to happen. The few people that were close enough to know that my parents were tyrants were understanding, and even somewhat grateful. I was a walking documentation of how it happened. Everyone else was afraid of me. I guess I've grown from the situation. We now know a lot more about the Sixes and how to stop them before it's too late. There are a lot less cases now that escalate fully. Still, I have this awful fear in the back of my mind that watching them go will break my spirit and eventually put a 6 on my back one day. I'm even more afraid of being condemned for what I did, knowing my parents are waiting for me. That one was dark. That was the part 2 for that story. That one was dark as fuck. I am actually going to switch to a lighter story. Let's see. I actually would love to do this one. Also, Morpho, I don't think you actually would. I don't think you should, if anything. Let's make this window smaller. Yeah, something a little bit more lighthearted. Because even that story made me sad. And I'm not normally affected by those. At least not much anymore. But that was just sad. So as in reading that freaked me out more than it should have. No, same. Same. I don't usually see spirits, but I do hear them, and whew. Yeah, let's get off of that. Let's see. Good music. Not that one, maybe. Let's do that one. That one's nice. That one's a nice one. Now I need to... I fucked it. I fucked it again. I wanna slow down, wanna burn out. There we go. Only got one chance and got one life to live. If you give a mouse a cookie. Because, you know, this one's a lot less sad. If you give a mouse a cookie, he's going to ask for a glass of milk. When you give him the milk, he'll probably ask you for a straw. When he's finished, he'll ask for a napkin. Then he'll want to look in a mirror to make sure he doesn't have a milk mustache. When he looks into the mirror, he might notice that his hair needs a trim. So he'll probably ask for a pair of nail scissors. When he's finished giving himself a trim, he'll want a broom to sweep it up. He'll start sweeping. He might get carried away and sweep every room in the whole house. He may end up even washing the floors too. When he's done, he'll probably want to take a nap. You'll have to fix up a little box for him with a pillow and blanket. He'll crawl in, make himself comfortable, and fluff the pillow a few times. He'll probably ask you to read him a story. So you'll read him one from your books, and he'll ask to see the pictures. When he'll look at the pictures, he'll get so excited that he'll want to draw one of his own. He'll ask for paper and crayons. He'll draw a picture. When the picture is finished, he'll want to sign his name with a pen. Then he'll want to hang his picture on your refrigerator, which means that he'll need Scotch tape. He'll hang his drawing and stand back to look at it. Looking at the refrigerator will remind him that he's thirsty. So, he'll ask for a glass of milk. And chances are, if he asks for a glass of milk, he's going to want a cookie to go with it. If you give the Yasu a cookie, he's going to ask for a glass of milk, and that's only the beginning. For if you give a mouse a cookie, he's going to want to ask for a glass of milk. When you give him a milk, Yasu will probably ask you for a straw. When he's finished, he'll ask for a napkin. I had to do it once. I had to do it once. Let's see. And the last happy story that we have, because we'll end on a happy story. At the very least, we'll end on a happy story, because I'll be sad if we don't. I love horror, but like, enough spooks. I think it's fitting to end on this. Dragons love tacos. Hey kid, did you know that dragons love tacos? They love beef tacos and chicken tacos. They love really big, gigantic tacos and tiny little baby tacos as well. Why do dragons love tacos? Maybe it's the smell from the sizzling pan. Maybe it's the crunch of the crispy tortillas. Maybe it's a secret. Either way, if you want to make friends with dragons, tacos are key. Hey dragon, why do you guys love tacos so much? But wait, as much as dragons love tacos, they hate spicy salsa. Am I not a dragon? I don't think I'm a dragon. I don't like tacos and I love spicy salsa. This is not me. Listen, burritos are better. Why have taco if burrito exists? No, not really. It's also a mix of the fact that my roommates have made tacos so many times that, like, because I kept having it when I didn't want tacos whatsoever, my brain just now goes, no tacos whatsoever, period. Like, they hate spicy salsa and spicy red salsa, spicy green salsa and spicy red salsa. They hate spicy chunky salsa and spicy smooth salsa. If the salsa is spicy at all, dragons can't stand it. I am not a dragon according to this. Why do dragons hate spicy salsa? Well, just one drop of hot sauce makes a dragon's ears smoke. Get better tolerance. Just one single speck of hot pepper makes a dragon snort sparks. Spicy salsa gives dragons the tummy troubles, and when dragons get the tummy troubles, oh boy. Yeah, get good, dragons. I don't know what to tell you. I love spicy salsa, gimme. If you want to make tacos for dragons, keep the toppings mild. Tomatoes, lettuce, cheese. These are all good toppings for tacos for dragons. Hey dragon, how do you feel about spicy taco toppings? I kind of want to get a picture of this where the pages are together and just cut out the dragon and have that as an emote. I think that'd be really funny. Dragons love parties. They like costume parties. And pool parties. They like big, gigantic parties with accordions and tiny little parties with charades. Why do dragons love parties? Maybe it's the conversation. Maybe it's the dancing. Maybe it's the comforting sound of a good friend's laughter. The only thing dragons love more than parties or tacos is taco parties. Taco parties are parties with lots of tacos. If you want to have some dragons over for a taco party, you'll need buckets of tacos. Pantloads of tacos. The best way to judge is to get a boat and just fill the boat with tacos. That's about how many tacos dragons need for a taco party. After all, dragons love tacos. Hey dragon, are you excited for the big dragon taco party? Yes, Noctis, basically. Just remember, dragons hate spicy salsa. Before you host your taco party with dragons, get rid of all of the spicy salsa. In fact, bury the spicy salsa in the backyard so dragons can't find it. These dragons love your taco party. They love the music. They love the decorations. They especially love the tacos. Tacos. Congratulations. It's a good thing you got rid of all that spice. Wait a second. What are those little green things in the salsa? You didn't read the fine print. Dragons, listen to me. Do not eat those tacos. Those little green specks in the salsa, those are jalapeno peppers. They are super... Sure, they are super spicy. I know you love tacos, dragons, but you are not going to love these tacos. Do not let those dragons eat those tacos. Big bags. Too late. I feel like this was made by a fellow dragon who just hates spicy food. Why would dragons help you rebuild your house? Maybe they're good Samaritans. Maybe they feel bad for wrecking it. Maybe they're just in it for the taco breaks. After all, dragons love tacos. This is the last page. This is an autobiography of Silas, since he's technically a dragon. Oh my god. I wish I could tell you what the story was, because I don't know. Oh boy. So, I don't necessarily feel like ending. So my question is, does anyone have any recommendations? Because if you do, I'll read it. I'm feeling like a reading stream. I've wanted to do these for well over a month now. And if any of my friends, so anyone who has VIP and or some exceptions like Britt, would request to want to do a story, they are more than welcome into my VC as well. 3 Little Pigs I can easily pull up. I don't believe I'm brave enough to try and do the FNAF lore. I don't even know what's going on in the FNAF lore anymore. I feel scared and I'm starting to sink. Only think deeper, the deeper I think. Captain. Read a fanfic of Silas since you read a dragon book. I am not reading a fanfic of Silas because I know how dangerous that would be. I do not believe that would be smart, because the only fanfics of Silas that I know is, not safe for stream. FNAF lore is a whole other genre at this point. Yeah, it really is. We are not doing monster fucking. I am just putting that out there now. I'm trying to find the book, though. I can't seem to find a picture book, which I was hoping for, or, you know, just, like, the story in general, which would be highly, highly nice to see, you know. I don't want to create a free account. If I find a wholesome fanfic of Silas, would you read it? No. Specifically for the fact that I cannot copy Silas's, like, tone and everything. I would be scared to try. So Morpho, calm down. Calm down. This is not... I'm not letting this become a fully 18+ stream because you're horny. Recommend a play, but it's long and really sad. That's fair. Okay. I'm going to bullshit this. It's going to look really scuffed. but I don't want to make an account. So it's got to be really scuffed. Where the Wild Things Are is very long and very sad. You are correct on that. The book I love is a banned one, though, so I can't suggest it. Morpho, why does that not surprise me? Where the Wild Things Are. Yep. Read Where the Wild Things Are. Please, I will read them eventually. I am not reading The Human Chair, Morpho. I am not reading that. Okay. Right now we're reading Three Little Pigs, and then maybe, perhaps, I will read Where the Wild Things Are. I don't care if it's a short read. I'm not reading The Human Chair. Charlotte's Web I'd be down to read. That was one of my favorite stories as a kid. Oh, Misa, did you get me a better one? You did! Thank you! Thank you, Pookie.
Star Pookie, if you can hear me, I sent you the one with the visuals for
You-
Three Little Pigs. There you go.
Literally right before you got onto stream, I had pulled it up because I saw that you DM'd me. Thank you, Pookie. I appreciate it. Okay. Jinshin, I'm not even reading that. Guys, behave. Please behave. I am asking this once. The stream, well, with some horror elements, kind of dipped into 18 plus, is a 16 plus stream. I want people to be welcome here. Stop being horny. Other streams will be fine. This stream, no horny. You guys are not behaving. You keep talking about monster fucking. That is not behaving. I refuse to believe that that is behaving. Yeah, I don't even need the anti-horny spray. Like, I'm not normally that bad, but like, damn. It's losing its screws. I'm going to put them in jail. Yeah, that's fair, Rome. Yeah, be good. You guys be good in there. Please. Put them in air jail. I'm behaving. Just be mindful. Oop. Okay, that opens big. Let's just a little bit smaller. The True Story of the Three Little Pigs. This is a huge book. Oh my god, why is it this big? Please don't clip that out of context. Lurking the whole time doodling. That's so fair. I don't think there's an easy way to have this book where you're reading horror story matches the books I read, so I got confused. Yeah, that's fair. Chat and I also did clarify that it was not horny. We did clarify several times on that it was not horny. Let's see. Everybody knows the story of the Three Little Pigs. Or at least they think they do. But I'll let you in on a little secret. Nobody knows the real story because nobody has ever heard my side of the story. I'm the wolf, Alexander T. Wolf. You can call me Al. I don't know how this whole big bad wolf thing got started, but it's all wrong. Maybe it's because of our diet. It's not my fault wolves eat cute little animals like bunnies, sheep, and pigs. That's just the way that we are. Miso, you sent me the wolf's version. I do believe this is a little funny. If cheeseburgers were cute, folks would probably think you were big and bad too. But like I was saying, the whole big bad wolf thing is all wrong. The real story is about a sneeze and a cup of sugar. This is the real story. Way back in Once a Time, I was making a birthday cake for my dear old granny. I had had a terrible sneezing cold and I ran out of sugar. So I went next door to ask if I could borrow a cup of sugar. Now the guy next door was a pig and he wasn't too bright either. He had built his whole house out of straw. Can you believe it? I mean, who in his right mind would build a house of straw? So of course the minute I knocked on the door, it fell right in. I didn't want to just walk into someone else's house, so I called, little pig, are you in?" No answer. I was just about to go home without the cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. That's when my nose started to itch. I felt a sneeze coming, and I huffed, and I snuffed, and I sneezed a great sneeze. And you know what? That whole darn straw house fell down, and right in the middle of the pile of straw was the first little pig, dead as a doornail. He had been home the whole time. It seemed like a shame to leave a perfectly good ham dinner lying there in the straw, so I ate it up. Think of it as a big cheeseburger lying there. I was feeling a little better, but I still hadn't had my cup of sugar, so I went on to the next house. The guy who lived there was the first little pig's brother. He was a little smarter, but not by much. He had built his house of sticks. I rang the bell in the stick house. Nobody answered. I called, Mr. Pig, are you in?" He yelled back, "Go away, Wolf, you can't come in. I'm shaving the hairs on my chinny chin chin." I had just grabbed the doorknob when I felt another sneeze coming on. I huffed and I snuffed and I tried to cover my mouth, but it was sneezed a great sneeze. And you're not going to believe it, but this guy's house fell down just like his brother. And when the dust cleared, there was the second little pig. Dead as a doornail, Wolf's honor. Now you know food will spoil if you leave it out in the open, so I did the only thing there was to do. I had dinner, again. Think of it as a second helping. I was getting awfully full, but my cold was feeling a little better, and I still didn't have that cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. So I went to the next house. This was the first and second little pig's brother. He must have been the brains of the family. He had built his house of bricks. I knocked on the brick house. No answer. I called, Mr. Pig, are you in?" And do you know what that little rude porker had answered? "Get out of here, Wolf. Don't bother me again." Talk about impolite. He probably had a whole stack full of sugar, and he wouldn't give me even one little cup for my dear sweet old granny's birthday cake. What a pig. I was just about to go home and maybe make a nice birthday card instead of a cake when I felt my cold coming on. I huffed and I snuffed and I sneezed once again. Then the third little pig yelled, "And your old granny can sit on a pin." Now, I'm usually a pretty calm fellow, but when somebody talks about my granny like that, I go a little crazy. When the cops drove up, of course, I was trying to break down this pig's door, and the whole time I was huffing and puffing and sneezing and making a real scene. The rest, they say, is history. The news reporters found out about the 2 pigs I had for dinner. They figured a sick guy going to borrow a cup of sugar didn't sound very exciting, so they jazzed up the story with all that huff and puff and blow your house down. And then they made me the big bad wolf. That's it. That's the real story. I was framed. But maybe you could loan me a cup of sugar? So the pig instigated the wolf. Feels like it. Alrighty, so... oh, poor wolf. Yeah, just a little bit. Let's see, you suggested where the wild things are. Do we really want to be sad on stream, is my question. The wolf's villain arc. Take me home where I belong. I haven't get anymore. You don't have to read it if you don't want to be sad. Well, I don't quite want to be sad. I kind of spooked myself out of scary stories. The second half of the Sixes is terrifying to me. And I say that as normally liking horror. The Grim Tales of... Ah, you want me to read the Grim Horrors. I am aware of them, as I do own a book of theirs. Let's see. Grim Fairy Tales. Because I don't think I want to actually grab my book, and I think it's nice when you guys have the visual as well. I had no other place to go. Let's see. Do you have a specific tale that you'd like me to read, or do you just want to hear the Grim Fairy Tales? Because I can think of a couple that I had liked, but I don't remember the titles to them. The Little Mermaid one. It is sad, but then she has like a whole redemption arc and goes to find Jesus and everything. That's literally the whole ending of her story, is that she goes up... She doesn't even go up to heaven. She just goes up a little bit and then is like, hey... Yeah, the Grimm story version is that she doesn't get to make it into heaven until she does like 100 good deeds, and then... once she does the good deeds, she's able to gain a soul and go into the gates of heaven. It's either go into the gates of heaven or be reincarnated. I don't remember, as the last time I read it was sophomore or junior year of high school. But a lot of the Grimm horror story, there is a version where she turns into sea foam. No, there is a version where she turns into sea foam, and then there is an extended version that was written a couple of years later that has the whole, like, getting into heaven thing after. It was definitely interesting to come across when I was in high school. If I remember correctly, The Three Spinners was a good one. Well, that is... I don't think I want to read that one either. Let's see. I may read, yeah, I saw Pookie. I was going to suggest moving to this one anyway. So, let's see. Yeah, I don't think I want to read Grim Fairy Tales. I think I have gotten my horror fill. This is a good song. I haven't listened to this in a while. Let's see. Let's see if that works. Not quite. There's a lot of storybook that's cut off. There we go. No sad tales. We're going childhood classics right now. There we go. Oh, it's been a while since I've read this one. Let's see. I am Sam. Sam, I am. That Sam I am, that Sam I am. I do not like that Sam I am. Do you like green eggs and ham? I do not like them, Sam I am. I do not like green eggs and ham. Would you like them here or there? I would not like them here nor there. I would not like them anywhere. I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam I am. Would you like them in a house? Would you like them with a mouse? I do not like them in a house. I do not like them with a mouse. I do not like them here or there. I do not like them anywhere. I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam I am. Would you eat them in a box? Would you eat them with a fox? Not in a box, not with a fox. Not in a house, not with a mouse. I would not eat them here or there. I would not eat them anywhere. I would not eat green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam I am. Exit. Would you? Could you in a car? Eat them, here they are. I would not, could not in a car. You may like them, you will see. You may like them in a tree. I would not, could not in a tree, not in a car. You let me be. I do not like them in a box. I do not like them with a fox. I do not like them in a house. I do not like them with a mouse. I do not like them anywhere. I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam I am. A train, a train. A train, a train. Could you, would you on a train? Not on a train, not in a tree, not in a car. Sam, let me be. I would not, could not in a box. I would not, could not with a fox. I would not eat them with a mouse. I will not eat them in a house. I will not eat them here or there. I will not eat them anywhere. I do not eat green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam I am. Say, in the dark, here in the dark, would you, could you in the dark? I would not, could not in the dark. Would you, could you in the rain? I would not, could not in the rain, not in the dark, not on a train, not in a car, not in a tree. I do not like them, Sam, you see. Not in a house, not in a box, not with a mouse, not with a fox. I will not eat them here or there. I do not like them anywhere. You do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam I am. Could you, would you with a goat? I would not, could not with a goat. Would you, could you on a boat? I would not, I could not, would not on a boat. I will not with a goat. I will not eat them in the rain. I will not eat them on a train. Not in the dark, not in the tree, not in a car. You let me be. I do not like them in a box. I do not like them with a fox. I will not eat them in a house. I do not like them with a mouse. I do not like them here or there. I do not like them anywhere. I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam I am. You do not like them, so they say. Try them, and you may. Try them, and you may, I say. Sam, will you let me be? I will try them, you will see. Sag. Say, I like green eggs and ham. I do. I like them, Sam I am. And I would eat them in a boat, and I would eat them with the goats, and I will eat them in the rain, in the dark, and in a train, in a car, in a tree. They are so, so good, you see. And so I will eat them in a box, I will eat them with a fox, I will eat them in a house, I will eat them with a mouse, and I will eat them here and there. Say, I will eat them anywhere. I do like green eggs and ham. Thank you, Sam I am. I have the same attitude when trying to introduce friends to, like, cooking and stuff. But I do. I basically did this with my roommate when, like, with the same roommate that if you saw on Blue Sky, I posted my D&D art with. The same roommate who drew that, I had, convinced to try pork and eggs. He didn't like the smell initially because it was very, very fishy, because it's pork and eggs. It's mainly made with fish sauce. And I was just like, okay, well, I just want you to try the broth. You don't have to try anything else. You don't have to try the pork. You don't have to try the eggs. Just try the broth, and if you like it, then you like it. And he tried it, and then did not stop begging for more pork and eggs. He constantly came through the kitchen and stole more of the broth. He stole, like, a piece of pork. He stole an egg. He kept stealing more broth. Like, it's not bad to try things. Trying things is pretty good. I do have more requests from Miso, because Miso is feeding me books. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Welcome, love bug. Thanks, Miso. Thank you, Miso. My brother is picky, so him eating besides chicken fingers and fries is a no-no. That's fair. Wait, no. Hold on. Oop. There we go. This will probably be the last two for the books I read. And then I will be wrapping up streams. So that will be my last stream for Streamers for Thankmas. Actually, should I save this book? I think I'll read the book that you sent me before the last one last. Yeah, I was gonna keep it a little secret. Little secret. We have Noah David, which I actually owned this book as a kid. David's mom always said, "No, David. No, David. No, David, no. No, no, no. Come back here, David. David, be quiet. Don't play with your food. That's enough, David." I remember that page viscerally. Go to your room. Settle down. Stop that this instant. Put your toys away. Not in the house, David. I said no, David. Davy, come here. Yes, David, I love you. Very quick book, but the entire back is covered in no. I think I picked up this book specifically because it was just one of those books that like was available. I don't remember why my mom picked it up. I think it was just something I could read because I got into the habit of reading to my parents very young instead of my parents reading to me. And I had to read a book to them before I could go to sleep. I don't remember when that happened, but I do remember that happened. Let's see. And then the last one. How to Catch a Star. Results not guaranteed for this star. Oh, that is tiny. I cannot read that. Oh no. Once there was a boy, and the boy loved stars very much. Every night, the boy would watch the stars from his window and wished he had one of his very own. Oh, it's just like this the entire time. It's going to be more interactive, folks. He dreamed of how this star would be his friend. They would play hide and go seek, and take long walks together. The boy decided he would try to catch one. He thought that getting up early in the morning would be best, because then the star would be tired from being up in the sky all night. The next day he set out at sunrise, but he could not see a star anywhere. So he sat down and waited for one to appear. He waited, and waited, and ate lunch. I can't believe he packed lunch. And waited, and after dinner, he waited some more. Finally, just as the sun was about to go away, he saw a star. The boy tried to jump up and grab it, but he could not jump high enough. So, very carefully, he climbed to the top of the tallest tree he could find. But the star was still way out of reach. He thought that he might lasso the star with the life preserver from his father's boat, but it was much too heavy for him to carry. If only he could fly up in a spaceship and just grab the star. But the only spaceship he owned was made of paper and didn't fly well at all. Perhaps he could get a seagull to help him fly up into the sky and reach his star. But the only seagull he could find didn't want to help. The boy worried that he would never catch a star. Just then, he noticed something floating in the water. It was the prettiest star he had ever seen. Just a baby star, it must have fallen from the sky. He tried to fish it out with his hands. But when the boy reached out to touch the star, it just rippled through his fingers. Now the boy was sad, but in his heart, the wish just wouldn't give up. Slowly, he began walking, and that's when he saw it, washed up on the bright golden sand. The boy had caught a star of his very own. Aw, for Marie and Paul. It's a sweet little story to end off on. Once again, results not guaranteed. Results not guaranteed to catch the star. But yeah, I think that's a lovely place to end that. Just a little something sweet. So, I think you've already been got. Miso. I swear, Pookie. I swear. But yes. Once again, one last little. I'm just a baby. I don't want to hear it, Miso. But yes. Just one last time, if you do have any extra funds that you can, please do send that to J-Shiro and Tiltify for being able to raise awareness for Samaritans. Let's see, I do have a new command, Miso, since we did make the official announcement. Join us in the Circle of Madness. Join us for the realm, where I am a new member of the streaming group. I did a new thing. I did a little thing. Just a little thing. Just a little thing. But you can join us and select a role to know that, know when I go live and when Miso and Yasu go live. I have my own Discord if you are not a part of it, where you can catch me on community nights that I host myself and other little fancy things like that, like maybe D&D stuff. Maybe I'll post extra special fun things there as well. Let's see. For socials, you can join me at these places. Like I mentioned earlier, the only place that my D&D art exists, that's now my profile picture on Twitch and Discord. You can find that on Blue Sky, along with my artist. I highly recommend following him. My roommate is so talented. And then, one last time, before I go properly find someone to raid, please do at least spread around the link if you cannot yourself donate. Every little bit helps. And even if I cannot donate under the Streamers for Thankmas when Twitch payout happens, I am still going to be donating nonetheless, and I will even post a screenshot in Discord for it. So, let's find someone to raid, shall we? Did not necessarily mean that I was taking, like, requests on that, but we will see. We will see who is available. I think I know who I want to raid. I think I know. There's someone that we have raided before. Let's see. They are also doing something spooky. They're doing some spooky things. Oop. Actually, maybe instead, Miso gave me a good idea. Miso the absolute goat. Truly, truly. We love Miso in this household. Boop. We love Miso in this household. So, yes. You're an absolute sweet mod and absolute best friend to me, so I'm very happy to have you here. So, I will go ahead and start sending that up. Let's see. I'm gonna copy and paste their name because I don't trust typing it myself. I know I did it once, but eh. You know, reverse. Alright. That should actually translate through if you are a follower, so you should be able to post that and then everything goes through correctly. If not, I will cry. It does not. I don't believe actually go through, but we'll see. We'll see. It does. Look. Look, it transfers fine. It transfers fine. Fossabot's just a little silly. Fossabot's just a little silly here. So, yeah, so long as you're following, you have access to that raid message. So, we'll go ahead and raid over. Thank you all for being so lovely and sitting with me for what donations we did get. It's fantastic. Everything goes to a great cause. So, I hope you all have an amazing night. Thank you, Rome. Thank you, everyone who is here. And I will see you guys in the new year. We got big things coming.